Alright, yeah, welcome back with our third and final episode with our Skellige Queensguard deck. So let's not waste any time, let's get into ranked and see if we can win some more games. Alright, see you there, guys.
We do what must be done.
Of course, friend.
Okay, so we're up against a Francesca deck. This is going to be an interesting matchup. We don't see it very often. So we've got Drake Bondu, we have got our Queensguard, so there's not really much wrong with this hand. We can actually mulligan these skirmishers to try find some more interesting stuff. Maybe an operator would be pretty sweet, so we can dig for that. We want to get rid of the Queensguard, and if we dig any further, we hit the pirates, so we're not going to go that far. The 7-point Alza's Thunder is going to be possibly quite useful here. We'll have to see.
Slaughter them to a man!
Yeah, I always like getting rid of these guys. Seems to work out in my favour most times. Boosting something in hand is just not nice for me. Farseer is the reason why you get rid of those as well. So this looks like some sort of Speletel deck. Interesting. So he's going to be wanting to target a lot of our stuff, so as long as we can keep most of our power off the board until it's important, we should be in a good spot. We can actually discard one of the pirates with Madman Lugos here. The fact that we haven't discarded it yet means that we can actually 9-point the Farseer if we want to do that. So I think we actually are.
Well, what is it?
So we can only 7-point at the moment with our skirmishers, so the pirate is the perfect discard spot. Doesn't make the Demon Pirate any less effective. And he's got another one, which is okay by us, I suppose. So I'm just going to go with King Brown. We're going to start setting up our board. Avoiding row, stacking where possible. Unless he's running a lot of weather, that will not come back to bite us. We'll have to see. It's very likely that he does have weather in this deck somewhere, but...
Fine. If my coin's ranked to ye, go kiss a dog neath its tail.
Orca Support boosts up a card in his hand and boosts up the Farseer. Fair enough. So it was this card here he was boosting up. Gotta be aware of that. If this is going to end up being an ambush card, then we know it's boosted. And it's going to be a better to reveal than it might normally be. Stuff to consider. Let's pump up our Queensguard. Skytel cannot actually interact with our graveyard in any meaningful way, so interesting. We do have a Donar, so we can lock that as well. If he does end up passing, thinking that this point value is going to matter, then that is an option available to us. Shall we just get rid of the pirates? I don't think we're in any rush to actually pull our Queensguard just yet. It just makes targets for our opponent to mess around with, artifact compression and things like that. Would rather him pull the trigger on something else.
Taking on new swabbies.
And it's actually a Moran. It was a good job we went with the pirates then, because if we had gone with the Queensguard, it would have died without triggering the Resurrect, which is good for us. Very clever move from our opponent sticking it in the middle there, because that's usually a Teruvial thing to do, but quite often than not there is also the Moran trick as well, which our opponent chose to go with there. Ragnarok, okay. Fair enough. Well, the question becomes how far further do we want to continue into this? Because I can Queensguard and we'll get an extra 4, 12, 20 points. Which would put us on par, so he could just pass and then the weather would trigger and force us into another card. Which would suck. But I think just playing a Shieldsmith would counter that and that'd be fine. Could also Coral the Farseer, though I don't really like that idea. Rather save this for a Protector if that is something that's going to be the case. I think it's just a Farseer focused deck though. We'll pull out a Queensguard. Because we can actually Shieldsmith the front row anyway, which is going to put armor on, so we only take 4. That is definitely a Teruvial. this time around. And I think on that note, we actually cannot win. Even if I was to Donar, that would give us extra points. But it would give him the 6 that Teruvial normally is. I think it's 6. And if we didn't do that, then the boost would be enough to win, so... yeah, I don't think I'm prepared to do that. All of our points we can carry over though, so we might have lost the round, but we haven't lost the war. And there's no sense in going with the Shieldsmith to pump up when we can do that next round if we wanted to. So, yeah, let's pass. We're going to need something to... it was the one that he was boosting as well. We're going to need something to throw away on the next round if he does actually cold pass us, in order to get an extra card out, because he is down on cards. And an operator.
Too fast for you, Dwan.
Ooh, he's got a 3-pointer there. What could he get? A Vrahid Dragoon? Oh, no. I'm just wondering if operator is worth it. I don't think it is. Let's get a priestess. Don't want him to have a Dragoon. All support boosts up a lot of stuff. So the play here is probably just going to be the Shieldsmith. Unless, of course, I want to take a bronze card. The Dragoon might be kind of nice to resurrect. It's going to cost us a Donar to do that, of course. But maybe the Vrahid's boosting will actually help in the long run. It helps against Eskel, is it? The one that attacks non-boosted units? Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Let's do that. And we'll take Dragoon. And pass. Our priestesses are actually effectively worth a lot more points than that, I think. Okay. We want to look for Grimace, just in case he has Drought. He's already Ragnaruda, so, I mean, it could be that kind of deck. And Sigdriffer would be great, Grimace would be great. Operate would be terrible, I think. Priestess is okay. I think we've got the targets for that. We've got Dragoon, Queen's Guard, and it looks like Pirate actually is going to be the only option there. But Priestess,
before modern Freya.
Get that Dragoon, start it ticking.
Slaughter them to a man!
We're going to get Aceris out as well. We've got Coral for his high-powered card, whatever it may end up being. If it's going to be Dolblathana Protectors, possibly. Ooh. Yorveth damages an enemy by 7. That's his 3rd of 4th gold. So, I mean... 2 priestesses. 1 is restricted to the Queen's Guard. So it's whether or not we want to go for a pirate or what is inevitably probably going to be more than 9 points on the Dragoon spread out as well. So I guess we'll go for the other res.
We serve her who is virgin, mother and crone.
Pull that Dragoon out.
Slaughter them to a man!
And out comes Ceres as well. Gonna go with a Quen sign. That's not actually gonna help him too much. It is gonna protect him from the hailstorm, which does make it a little less effective. But Coral can just take down one of his higher powered units anyway. The question is, where do we put these shieldsmiths? Do we get out our Queen's Guard in order to armor them up? Or do I put it on things like the Dragoon so it doesn't die to an Alza's Thunder? That kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's okay. We'll go with the boosted one. Because if he does have Eskel, I think it is, then we don't want him. We'll put it there.
Barrels of burning pitch.
We don't want him hitting the non-boosted one if he does choose to do that. but he'd probably go for the Dragoon anyway if he had it.
Dance of death! Ha!
Ooh.
Ha!
It's actually going to be the Blue Mountain Commandos. That is worth quite a lot. Interesting. So we could Shieldsmith the back row, get our Priestess of Freya pumped up. There's really no advantage to going with the Queen's Guard pumps anymore because we're not actually carrying any points over, so really anything that we put this Shieldsmith on is just protect it from certain things. Weather, lacerates, that kind of stuff. So let's go back row.
So what? Should I pound it into a poker?
And I guess Ceres. If he goes to get the Ceres, then we're not actually going to be able to res her back. Actually, now I think about it, but
We do what
should make
must
a
be
difference.
done.
Going to mulligan a card and pick anyone that he wants. So what is the perfect card for this situation,
We shall
opponent?
drive the ape men into the sea!
Pulls the Aileron as well for having enough elves out. Whatever she grabbed as well has been boosted by 3. Good to know. Probably about time we go with our Queen's Guard
Modern
here.
Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
We could still get more value on the Marigold's Hailstorm, as well as the Coral as well. Could be potentially more power the longer we leave it. So the question is, what does he play this turn, and does it mean that we go for the Hailstorm or the Coral first? We've got a reasonable advantage in terms of points, but a lot of them are locked behind this Quen sign, which Marigold's Hailstorm doesn't get around, so if he's clever, he'll probably want to put whatever he's playing on the front row, which is going to be ideally where the most of the points are going to sit, and where I'd love to Hailstorm if it wasn't for these Quen signs. Protecting his points. Might be setting up for his own Hailstorm. There is, of course, the advantage as well that the Dragoon is pumping up Coral as well. And if we went with Coral this time, then Dragoon has nothing to pump up. So there is an extra point in Dragoon. Coral's going to hit this 11 dude anyway and turn it into a 2. Which is pretty decent. So the Hailstorm's actually only going to hit Ayla in here, which is really bad. Unless, of course, we Coral the Yorveth. So really this Hailstorm isn't worth much, to be honest. Is it worth more hitting the Brigade and then Coraling something else? Yeah, I think it is. It's worth 5 here and yeah. Sit them all down to 5. It's not the best play in the world, but we didn't expect it to be.
Double chase!
Oh dear. Looks like he's setting up for a Hailstorm then. If it wasn't Hailstorm in his hand, then he would have wanted to move the Blue Mountain Commandos instead because of their movement boost, so yeah, Hailstorm's coming in, and it's going to hurt. Most points we can get is by getting rid of any one of these two, so... Oh,
I suppose...
Ayla in anyway, because you can't actually target golds. So, does he have Hailstorm? Of course he has Hailstorm. And that takes him to 44 to our 40. Ugh. That Quen sign saved him there, absolutely. It's probably what he mulliganed for as well. I can't see why most decks don't just immediately try to get Marigold's Hailstorm, because even without the debuff of not being able to hit golds anymore, it's still most likely going to be quite useful. Short of that Quen sign, we would have had good value from it, which sucks, but there you go. Anyway, let's go to another game.
I've had men killed for less.
Mead! More mead!
Okay, so Up against Radovid. It's going to be an interesting one. We've got our operator with Queen's Guard, which is nice. The mulligans on this one are going to be a bit weird. We're going to be getting rid of Ceres and the skirmishers. We'll get rid of Ceres first because she is the most useless out of all of them. And the issue that we hit here is if this goes skirmishers into either the pirate or the Queen's Guard and we mulligan that and get the other one, then we're going to be really sad. What are the odds of that though? We could get something really nice, like a Drake Bondu if we take the risk. Let's do it. Alza's Thunder, it's about the same point value, I suppose. Just about, not quite. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so is it just going to be straight up operator? May very well be. We don't get the reactive play of Alza's Thunder, unfortunately, so yeah, let's operator. And copy a Queen's Guard. Give our opponent one. If we do end up finding our donor,
Salutations.
then that would be quite good. Now, normally I would Alza's Thunder this unit because you'd end up having Hensel pulling all of them. But he's not playing Hensel, so makes me wonder whether or not I should actually Thunder that. It's going to add 1 power to anything, essentially. If it ends up being good. I suppose I could get a feel for the waters a little bit, and if he does go with another Kaidweni Siege support, then it's going to be a 7-pointer, and then we can hit that with Thunder. So, yeah. Let's do our deck's business. Get rid of Ceres, get rid of Queen's Guard, get rid of Queen's Guard. And goes with reinforcements, grabbing what? Stennis. Alright.
Peace is priceless.
Into
Nice
the
mess
Blue
you've
Stripes
got
Commander. Can't have been happy with that. I'm sure that is not even slightly the best value you could have got from that. Does have a lot of armor on it though, so he's done banner heavy cavalry. You've got a fair bit to chew on there. Well, in that sense, I'm just probably going to thunder away the siege fort then. I've seen what he's done. He's gained 2 points from us not actually pulling the trigger on that, but
For the king!
it shouldn't be too bad. Okay. So at this point, I think we just pull our Queen's Guard, plan on using our
Pansy.
Shieldsmiths to give them a little pumping. Also taking down Ceres in the graveyard as well.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Ooh. The recently nerfed battering rams now deal 2 and then deal 3 if they destroy something. But it's going to be 3 and then 3 in this case. So you can hit King Bran. You could have hit King Bran in order to get an extra tick on that. But he chose not to, which is interesting. So we're going to go with our Shieldsmith, and we're going to pump up the little one.
Into a poker?
So we've now got a 6-5 and a 5 with our Queen's Guard, which plays around Gigny if that ends up being the case. And we got a 4 in hand, of course, as well.
Magic sows chaos.
It's going to reset,
Sows chaos.
hitting our mage so he can pull all of his Witch Hunters.
Our pyres will light up the north.
Yep. Just hit anything that's not that damaged Queen's Guard, and you're fine. Unless he actually wants to give us a little pumping. Just click this one. He's not an idiot. That's a shame. Okay. There's nothing really that Radovid hits in our deck, right? That actually matters. No, not really. Everything in our deck does its thing on deploy, or in the long run. So that's pretty good. We can play a pirate, keep ahead of our opponent. We could also use the pirate with Madman Lugos though, if we want to get 9 points on the discard for that. I suppose that is an option available to us. That does mean that we don't get our skirmisher in the graveyard later down the line as well though. I guess we'll go with Madman
I
Lugus.
make the laws here.
And we will get rid of that skirmisher, kill his battering ram.
Virginia!
And a Redinian Elite, so you can take the armor again. We're a point behind, which is pretty sweet. And Ceres is 2 ticks away from being res, so she's coming back next round, no matter what. Which is fair enough. Now that we've played out our Madman Lugos, there's really no sense in holding on these pirates.
Give us all you got!
Thin out our deck, make sure that we draw what we want next time. Removes a Witch Hunter and goes for a Battering Ram. Okay. Let's see what he does this time. There you go. Hits King Bran this time, so he gets an extra 3. It's been a crewman, yeah. Or he might not be. We've got a fair bit of points on the range throw as well for our Marigold's Hailstorm. If we end up pulling the trigger on that, that's going to be pretty good. And we can pull back these skirmishes as well with our Priestess of Freya. He's still got 1 Queen's Guard in hand as well, because we did go with our Operator, so that's something to note. He might end up mulliganing it though. Probably doesn't want to play it knowing that we've got our Donar, because that is decent value. And I think we'll keep hold of our Queen's Guard just so that our Priestess of Freya can actually resurrect something else. Speaking of resurrecting something else, we're going to go over the skirmishes.
No insult.
And that takes Ceres down to 1. Well, he takes down a Queen's Guard, which is interesting, because now we can actually play our Queen's Guard for a reason other than just simply playing our Queen's Guard. And I think we'll do that.
Good.
We'll get our Ceres as well.
Real good.
Needs a good slapping.
Hits the front row. I don't know if that'll matter too much. That would normally be bad if Hailstorm still hit golds. He can actually Radovid our Ceres.
Test my patience.
And he may very well do that. He's going to go... He should hit the Ceres. The Ceres is the only thing that is useful to hit. Yeah. Well, you got that out of him, but... I mean... not the best thing in the world for us. Alright. Priestess gets back our Queen's Guard, so we don't want to use Priestess just yet. I mean, we can use Sigdrifer as well to get back Queen's Guard if we want to. We can use the Marigold's Hailstorm on the range row for the most amount of value. That's going to be 6, 9, and then 13, is it? Something like that. 13 points. I don't know if that's enough. Especially since he's got 3 cards in hand, I think he can just keep up with that and end up winning this round, and then we've just thrown away a Marigold's Hailstorm for not great value. Except for getting another card out, and I suppose our top decks are better than his. So we'll pass after this, no matter what happens. He's probably going to play out a new card, then pass, and then we'll Priestess something. And then Sigdrifer in the final round, get back all our Queen's Guard, and I think that'll be fine. I'm hoping for a throwaway card, to be honest, for the next round. Maybe a Drake Bondu. Brawl Decree. We're getting a gold out of his hand. Interesting. It's going to be Dijkstra.
All ears.
Gets a 3-pointer.
Death to the enemy!
And a 6-pointer. So we're going to pass. Because now...
Uh-oh. Trouble approaches.
Now he's committed to this, and he probably wants to put down an extra card. Which is fine by us. Really poor hits on for Dijkstra there. Actually goes with a Queen's Guard, so if we hit... Donar, that's going to be a great card to hit. We get ourselves an extra Queen's Guard, an extra 4 points to bring into a future round. There's Dragbondu. And Ragnarug. Ooh. Well, Dragbondu is our throwaway card for this round if he just straight up passes, because we get to add points to the board and not really lose anything except for just 5 points. I'm going to keep it. Ragnarug might be useful. Might. If he goes wide, we'll see. Okay. And Dragbondu as well is also something that we can resurrect later down the line as well with Sigdrifa, so that's also ace. And we pass. I'm not sure this Ragnarug is actually good, so we're probably just going to throw it away. The only things he could be playing that swarm in a way that Ragnarug would be useful for are all on one row, so we can't punish that because we haven't got a Hailstorm. Priestess Freya is awesome. Okay, well, we are going to lead off with Sigdrifa.
What do you need?
Grab Dragbondu and go for a little bit more pumping. Let's get that 5-pointer and that's 6-pointer, I guess. It slightly matters, but not too much. We just don't want to line up any of our Queen's Guard.
Know what I'm doing when I prescribe something.
But we also want to play around Epidemic and Scorch in that same sense, even though we don't expect him to play them.
Peace is priceless.
We should avoid it if we can. So 5-pointer on the Kaidweni, not the Kaidweni, Dunbanner Heavy Cavalry. Fair enough, that is quite a valuable play to our opponent. So, our first Priestess target is probably going to be these Skirmishers. I wonder how this triggers actually, because when you resurrect a unit, its lock comes off, but this actually... This triggers as it leaves, so I'm not sure how that works, but worth a try. Still an 11-point play regardless, and our Grimace then
is patient, but she brooks no insult.
Has a target for... there you go, it does unlock and trigger. Now has a target for Blood-Curdling Roar, so we can turn the Priestess into an 11-point bear.
As you command, Your Majesty.
Alza's Thunder to hit the Skirmishers. Interesting. Well, our Ragnarug would have been Turbo Gash in that situation, so very happy for that. We're just gonna Grimace.
That is your brilliant move.
And Blood-Curdling Roar. There's no real weather value, and any weather that he plays down here is just not going to get enough value to make a bear not worth it. Most likely.
High time the north was cleansed.
And he's got a Witch Hunter. He didn't put any back in his deck, so this is the only one that he threw back with his Field Medics, isn't it? So we're just going to go with the Priestess of Freya. We're already points up, so I'm pretty sure there's nothing that card can be
We serve her who is virgin,
that
mother and
loses
clone.
us the game in this situation. But I'm prepared to be surprised if you guys are. Let's see.
What can I do for you?
Nope, not good enough. Can lock and reset, and we win with almost double these points. Not bad at all. Alright, I think our opponent in his final hand there didn't exactly have the nicest things in the world. I'm pretty sure he never wanted that Witch Hunter, but that's what you get for throwing cards like that back into your deck with essentially no Naneki to put the rest of them back in. If he could have done that, then he could have chained together his Witch Hunters on his Death Mold and got an extra 6 points, but even then, wouldn't have done much for him. GG to you, sir. Alright guys, well that is going to do it for today's episode, but before we go, might as well open up that keg now, shan't I? Let's head on over there and purchase said keg, and hopefully we get some golds. I'm pretty sure every single keg that I've opened up after the end of any episode has always been bronzes, but maybe today we'll get a gold. It has been a while since I've opened one, so maybe we are due for one. We got a Mardrome in the first pack. Hey, Sweet. I was actually planning on crafting Geralt art, so I'm glad that I didn't. Let's do this. Boosh. Alright guys, I do hope you've enjoyed, and if you did, then be sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon right next to the subscription button, and that will give you notifications when I release new videos. I do hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.